Joining us now is finance entrepreneur and geopolitics expert Dr. Roger Gewolb. Roger, great to speak with you again. Let's start with the UK, where a major shake-up has rocked the upcoming election. Former Brexit leader Nigel Farage has called for a political revolt, announcing his candidacy as the leader of the Reform UK party. Let's take a look.
So I'm coming back as leader of Reform UK, but not just for this election campaign. I'm coming back for the next 5 years. And there is one very simple reason for that. We all know already that the Conservative Party will be in opposition. But it won't be the opposition. They are incapable of it.
Roger, the election is less than a month away. What impact is this going to have?
Tremendous impact. They've already moved up to within 2 points of the Conservatives, the Reform Party has. So at the very least, they're going to do a lot of damage. We have the first past the post system here, as it's called. So it's very difficult for any political party other than the Conservatives or Labour to actually get into government and run things, even come in and be a hung parliament with any kind of power. But the way things are going, you never know. So many people are deserting the Tories, the Conservatives, for Labour and Reform. And I think it looks to me like more people are deserting for Reform now. So I think Nigel is going to do a lot of damage at the very least.
Former Neighbours star Holly Valance has thrown her support behind Nigel Farage. Let's take a look.
This is exactly what we all wanted. He gave the people what they asked for. Right move.
Roger, what do you make of her comments? Do you think Holly will have an impact, and are we likely to see her out in the campaign trail?
I don't know. I mean, you know, all sorts of celebrities get involved and throw their 2 cents in. Robert De Niro has gone crazy over Trump. I mean, you know, a lot of these people who aren't directly involved or experienced in politics should kind of stay in their zone. I don't know about Holly. She's quite a good spokesperson and a lovely celebrity, so I'm sure she'll influence quite a lot of people, and it certainly doesn't hurt to have her support, so I'm all for it. But some of them who are jumping on the bandwagon are, you know, kind of silly.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Look, Sir Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak went head-to-head in their first TV debate of the campaign. Let's take a look.
What I won't do is engage in an expensive gimmick, the Rwanda scheme. If he believed it was going to work, he wouldn't have called an election before it can be tested. He wouldn't have done it.
Would you consider processing asylum claims in a third country, Keir Starmer?
Yes, if that was possible to do it in compliance with international law, of course. But just let me deal with this, because...
So you do now agree?
Okay, so you...
Honestly,
now, you've just changed
I thought we were not going to talk over each other.
So you do now agree with third country deals?
Roger, what did you get out of the debate, and in your view, who won?
I got a really good kip, and then when I woke up, I wasn't sure who won. It was completely boring, like listening to these two all the time. It's just so empty and vacuous and insipid, and neither of them really says anything. And when they do finally say something, they don't deliver on it. And it was pretty pathetic as far as I'm concerned. Nigel brings a lot more, a lot more energy to the process. And these two, it was like watching 2 Dyson electric heaters on full throttle just blowing at each other, you know. I finally decided to turn off the telly, and I washed my shirt and thought I'd watch that dry instead.
Well, Nigel Farage was making headlines here in Australia while the debate was going on because a milkshake was thrown at him. Are we going to see him take up a fair bit of the spotlight over the next few weeks?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, the Reform Party is gaining such momentum. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, they're the Messiah and they're going to solve everything. Just another bunch of politicians, and they're all quite boring sometimes, I think. And they all, you know, operate in a politician's kind of a way. But Nigel, as he said in an interview I did with him about why our politicians are so bad. He said it's because so many of them are professional politicians. And he's not really one of those. He's not so phony, if I can put it like that. So I think he'll cover a lot of ground. He's done a lot of damage. He will do a lot of damage to the Tories. There was a post on X today by somebody I called a Labour agent provocateur, who said that now, with all the damage Farage is going to do to the Tories, Labour will have a clean brief. They're in clear blue water and it's all lovely. And I posted back saying, don't listen to this idiot, because Labour isn't even a party. It's an agglomeration of warring groups trying to cover up the blood and the noise going on over anti-Semitism, communism, socialism, God knows what else these people get up to. So the whole thing is a mess and everybody's sick of it and they can't wait for it to be over. And I guess we'll end up, a lot of people are saying Labour, there's no question they'll be in. A lot of people are saying, don't be so surprised. We might end up stuck with Fishy Rishi again. And a small number of people are saying, Nigel could actually win this. So, it's at least exciting in that sense that now it isn't a foregone conclusion anymore.
It'll be interesting to watch that unfold. Why do you think more people seem to be gravitating towards the Reform UK party? And what is it about Nigel Farage? Is it because he's a bit controversial? Can he really cut through in his messaging, I suppose, out in the campaign trail? And why is it that he will be making such an impact throughout this election campaign?
Well, there's a lot of questions in there, Gabriella, but I guess the best way to answer them all is, firstly, the Tories have been in power for 14 years, and they've really made a god-awful mess. They put their foot in their mouth every morning before breakfast. Sex scandals, stealing, corruption, incredibly stupid decisions, idiots making pronouncements that, they then fight with each other over. It's just been abysmal. It would make anybody not want to go into politics watching them. It's embarrassing. They have absolutely destroyed the Tory party repeatedly and repeatedly for 14 years. Labour has basically stood by and not really come forth with any policies that make sense. They're now starting to announce some things, but everybody is scared to death. Well, everybody except Labour supporters is scared to death of Labour coming in. Jeremy Corbyn's hiding in the wings, more crazy stuff, socialist stuffs, soak the rich, spread the wealth, redistribute it. We are, as one of my followers posted, left with a choice between stepping in dog muck or cat muck.
Well, Roger, we'll be getting your insights and analysis as we edge closer to July 4.